Welcome to C-Level Leadership. I'm Darren Mell. I'm not a CEO, and that's the point. These conversations are about leading from the middle, where trust, empathy, and real work actually happen. Thanks for listening.
In corporate America for over 35 years now. And if you can't see the hilarity in this, then you haven't been paying attention. And that, my friends, is what it's all about. Do you notice those moments? As I mentioned in the first episode, I've written several books, again, self-published, really more as a call out to find out if anybody's listening and do people still care and understand sort of the hypocrisy and also the humor that is in our lives on a day in and day out basis. And, one of the things that I've noticed, and I'm going to read a short section from one of the books about corporate America. And the section is entitled, Why Ask Why? A Corporate America Cautionary Tale. See if this resonates with you. And I'm just going to put thoughts into your head, and I'd like to hear what you have to say about it. But there we go. If you've ever spent more than 5 minutes in corporate America, you've probably learned that asking why is a dangerous sport, right up there with running with scissors or microwaving leftover fish in the office kitchen. On paper, you're hired for your expertise, your fresh ideas, your proven track record. But the moment you start poking around with innocent questions like, why do we do it this way? Or is there a better approach? You quickly find yourself on a one-way trip to Frustrationville, population U. For me, it's like that unforgettable scene in the 1996 Tom Cruise movie called Jerry Maguire. Tom Cruise is playing the title character. He's at the end of his rope. He's trying to keep his one remaining client, Rod Tidwell, played by Cuba Gooding Jr. In a moment of pure caffeine-fueled desperation, Tom Cruise's character, Jerry, explodes and he says, "You have no idea what it's like to be me out here for you. It is an up at dawn, pride-swallowing siege that I will never fully tell you about." And the camera lingers on his face. It's red, sweaty, and he's one bad phone call away from a nervous breakdown. And what does Cuba Gooding's Rod Tidwell do? He laughs and he says, "Man, you are hanging on by a very thin thread, and I dig that about you." And that, my friends, is corporate America in a nutshell. You come in bright-eyed, full of ideas, ready to make a difference. Maybe you even have a PowerPoint deck or two up your sleeve, but then you start to notice things don't quite add up. You ask, why do we have three different systems for entering the same data? Why does every decision require 17 approvals and a sacrificial goat? The answer is always the same. That's just the way it is here. No explanation, no logic, just a resigned shrug and a silent prayer that you stop asking before HR gets involved. You quickly realize that your expertise is less about actually using your skills and more about learning the fine art of not rocking the boat. The longer you stick around, the more you start to resemble Jerry Maguire, hanging on by a thread, pride thoroughly swallowed, trying to make sense of a system that makes sense to absolutely no one. And here's the kicker. Everyone else is in the same boat, but nobody wants to admit it. It's like a company-wide game of the emperor has no clothes, except the emperor is a process flowchart and the clothes are a pile of outdated policies. Asking why in an environment like this is a bit like lighting a match in a fireworks factory. Sure, you might uncover a better way to do things, but you're just as likely to set off a chain reaction, a confusion, defensiveness, and passive-aggressive emails. The truth is, most people have stopped asking altogether. They've learned that curiosity is hazardous to your career health, and that the safest path is to keep your head down, nod along, and never ever question the process. But here's the thing, people. That thread that you're hanging on by, it's actually a lifeline. The people who are asking, brave or stubborn enough to keep asking why, even if it drives them a little crazy, are the ones who remind us, everyone, that progress is possible. They're the Jerry Maguires in the office, fighting the good fight, pride-swallowing siege and all. So if you find yourself teetering on the edge, fraying, and wondering if you're the only one who cares, take heart. You're not alone. You might not change the system overnight, but you just might inspire someone else to start asking why, too. And who knows, maybe, just maybe, you'll find the fellow thread hanger who digs that about you, too. In the meantime, keep your sense of humor close and your questions closer, because in corporate America, the only thing more dangerous than asking why is forgetting to ask at all. And that is just a small section. I've worked in corporate America for many, many years, like I said. And these are the things, like, as you get in there, so many sitcoms, from The Office to Abbott Elementary, that I've recently started watching. These are based in reality. They make them very funny because of the hypocrisy and just almost sitcom-like atmosphere that we're all asked to work in. One of the other aspects of corporate America, when we look at our current world of politics, and as I said in the first episode, I am not here to pick sides. I think the political system in the United States is in bad shape, but I honestly believe it's because we hired the wrong people. One of the other aspects of life that I find amazing, for any of you that work at a large company, I'm sure you're aware of this and can relate. We have to do our compliance trainings every year that says that we won't take bribes, we won't take insider trading, we won't take front row seats to the Bruce Springsteen concert to agree for a deal for somebody else's company. And when I'm doing those, and nowadays with technology, they actually have actors. You have to watch the scenario of some overly acted situations in regards to sexual harassment, in regards to taking bribes, in regards to insider information. And you can't keep your job unless you pass that. And I argue that if you look at our current politics, for every violation that I could lose my job for in corporate America, I can show you one politician that is doing that actual compliance break, but they get to keep their jobs. And I think that we should actually have all of them be the actors in those online videos that we have to take, because they're already doing the things that we have to take a compliance test on. So each and every day, as we go about our lives in corporate America, it is a pride swallowing siege. But when you can understand it from a lens that you understand that this is just the way it is here, and you have to basically, I recommend finding your group of people that understand that and don't take it so seriously. Laughter for me has always been, as a salesperson, a sales leader, husband, father, parent, you're always doing some form of selling. And I used to say, when I would meet with business owners or tell people that if I met with a customer or a prospective customer, if I could make them laugh 2 or 3 times, they were probably going to buy something. And I think laughing ourselves through this and understanding that we are all average, even when we enter the workplace, that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. And what I want to hear from you is, what are the things about corporate America that drive you crazy? Even though you continue to work it, and I understand this, and I say this, the career that I've built, where I'm at in life now, I do owe it to corporate America. But I do believe that there are better ways to lead people, and that authenticity is a part of it. And I think what makes me laugh the most is the fact that you can see that people are not authentic. And just like politicians think that we don't know that they're lying, even though we do, leaders in corporate America, I think sometimes due to narcissism, think that no one sees through them. But I would say I see through them like they're a hologram. But that's my take on it. I want to hear what you have to say. Does this resonate with you? And what are your thoughts on that? And to close for today, I'd like to say thank you for listening. And pay attention this week. It matters more than we think. And this is Darren, the average human being. Signing off. See you next time.
This has been C-Level Leadership with Darren Mell, Average Human Being. Thanks for listening.